Good afternoon guys and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a cold, as you can see by Dave, even rubbing his hands together, he's normally in a t-shirt. A cold November's afternoon.
Indeed so.
I mean, this might be on in December or near Christmas, so if it is, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah, have a good one.
But today we're talking chipping. So we're talking about, in the last couple of weeks you will have seen Dave's putting dilemma.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. We had a look. Dave wasn't sure on the putter. He'd been advised by playing partners, as most of us are, that the putter might not be right for him. We kind of got rid of that theory, and we have unfortunately blamed Dave. Then we looked at how Dave could practice. So Dave wanted to know, right, well, if the putter's right, what do I need to work on? What do I need to go back to basics? Because we saw that we hadn't really looked at it since, well, I can't find a video, so it must be January.
Yeah, it was.
So January, when Dave was in the house, he was in lockdown. I think I was in Dubai, but Dave was in lockdown. And yeah, we hadn't looked at it for a long time. So through a season, as we all do, you know, we start to have a lot of confidence. Then you had no confidence, and then somebody says try this, somebody says try that. We watch a few videos, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully not by James Robinson.
No.
And although he's been putting well. And try and fix it. So he struggled. So we went through how Dave could get that back. So Dave's now got a mirror, he's got a mat, and he knows when he goes to the putting green up at Garforth, he knows what he needs to do to practice. And we only looked at 20 minutes. So 20 minutes each week. We're not asking for a lot. Even if you go to the range, can you do that? And can you do a little bit of practice? And today we're down chipping. So chipping, again, as you can see, it's very busy down here, as it always is at the chipping green. But nobody really comes down to practice, and when you do, you've probably got 2 or 3 balls. You chip the ball to the same hole a few times. Yeah, not bad, one good, one average. So yeah, I'll move to the next flag. You play the same shot with the same wedge, and you're not really working on anything. So when you go to the golf course, you've got no confidence, because the shot that you practice on the golf course is going to be totally different to what we get here. So first of all, when you come down to practice, 2 alignment sticks ideally. You know, it's nice and easy through the winter to have 2 alignment sticks. We're going to go, and all I'm going to aim for here is the middle of the green. We're going to take out of action, trying to hit a certain shot to a certain flag. So I'm going to aim to the middle of the green. And here we're going to do a little bit of block practice. So you'll see over the videos with Dave on the series, we went through Dave's short game. We saw that it was very shallow, we had a lot of leg movement. And it's something that we worked on with Dave throughout his chipping. Again, he's had his spells of very good chipping, not so great chipping, but I know full well Dave will not have practiced it overly that much.
At all.
At all, at least Dave's honest. So we're going to do that now. We're going to reassess that, and Dave's first thing when he comes down to a chipping green is to do his technique first, and then what we do is we move on to the rest of the game we want to work at. When he's working technique, I know because I know which wedge this is we want to work with your sand wedge. I don't want to go 60 degree, as you will all know. I want to go with a wedge that you will use quite a lot around the greens, something that's got enough loft, not too little loft that it's going to run out. We still want to see how this is flying out. And to set this drill up nice and easy, we've got your alignment here, and then what I want to do is set this alignment stick in at the same angle, famously, last words, as when I've got this wedge flat to the ground. So when Dave now brings a ball in, he can take his setup, and when he makes the motion, if he does swing inwards, we've got feedback straight away. So Dave's going to need to keep that club above there and then make a motion and chip that towards the middle of the green. Middle of the green, that's all we're thinking. We're not trying to, and it can be, you know, a yard short of that ball, a yard past, but we're trying to get a nice, consistent stroke length. Did I catch that on the way back?
No.
Oh, it must have been from when I hit it before. I had flashbacks. So I've missed that. The ball started online, it had good loft, I had a good strike, and I can start to get some feedback. So Dave's going to come in here now, and all we need for this is we don't need as many golf balls as I've set out. Again, 5 balls is good enough, and then what we're going to do is we're going to move on and look at what we then do before we come back to this station. So ball's around about a club away from the alignment stick, and I've got it, the alignment stick that's at an angle is 2 or 3 feet back. So David, come in. Good. So good fly. Strike-wise, Dave, what did you feel?
Bit of a drop kick.
Little bit of a drop
Yeah.
kick. We also saw with Dave's tendency was he would go short back and quick through. So his feedback straight away there is, right, we know it's now on plane again, so we know we're ticking one box, but I've just got to be a little bit smoother through transition. So very much easy for Dave to work out without me having to tell him, except for on this occasion, that he knows what he's done.
Same again.
Good. Same again. So Dave's clearly not listening.
No.
But consistent. Because now that backswing is on plane, it's above there, it's not dropping inside, we can still see that the distance there, that's gone within a yard of each other. So even a bad chip has still done the result. It's still lofted over this raised grass here, obviously this raised bank. It's got onto the green and it would have gone maybe not as close to the hole as we wanted, but it would have got there, not with a perfect strike, and that's what we want. We're not always going to have perfect strikes, as Dave certainly knows after those two, but like we say, if you can have a good bad one, that's better than the bad one being just in front of us. So a little bit longer back and smoother. Better.
Much better.
Good. So that's gone to the middle of the green, that carried to where those other ones have finished. Longer and smoother. He's let the club do the work there. He's nicely avoided the alignment stick every time. So he's ticking boxes here with technique. He's rolling back 6 months ago when we did this.
My memory's not as good as it used to be now.
That's true. Super.
Ooh, bit of backspin.
Bit of backspin. So plenty of spin on that. You can see launched exactly the same, and as again, and again even, has gone within a yard of it. So flight's consistent, the distance then consistent, and we're getting on the green. Again, expectations, manage those depending on what shot it is, but again, we've got a very nice and easy lie here. Famous last words. Super. We've got a nice easy lie here which everybody comes to practice. So we want to start here because we are going to have chip shots from here. We want to get some confidence that we're ticking the technique boxes. We've just finished with 3 ball flights exactly the same, pretty much exactly the same distance. So now what we need to do in our practice session is move into random shots. So go and play shots that you would get. Again, we're going to go 5 golf balls. So in total in this practice session we'll have hit 10 balls. It'll have taken us maybe 10 to 15 minutes. And now we're going to go around and play different shots. We're going to take the different wedges and talk through how we would play those. And if we find one that we struggle with the most after we've gone round, that'll be one that we might spend a little bit more time on before we finish. So there, a total session is going to take 15 minutes, which I'd like to think we've all got 15 minutes just to put that little bit of work in on this, because I know a lot of people will put more time in with a driver.
But you can do this just before the bar opens, can't you?
Can do this just before the bar opens. So let's go and play some different lies now. Let's talk through the shots, see which club we're going to use, and we'll go round. So first lie, sat down in the rough, and we're going to be going to this flag here on the right. So Dave, first of all, club wise?
I'll be going sand wedge.
Sand wedge, so the most loft is
56.
brought out, 56, Mizuno, delightful wedge. Favourite wedge in the bag.
It is.
Okay, so we're going to play that shot now. So Dave needs a little bit of loft, but the motion now, we've done the block practice just over here. So now Dave's going to have the exact same feel and just think, right, how much backswing do I need for that shot? So landed just on, ran out.
A little bit. Wasn't perfect, but
No, caught a little bit before it again.
do you know what? From here, that's not bad.
No, we'd take that inside, well, it's not inside tour average, but it's not much outside. I'd say that's gone to 7 feet, which you'd take that because we've got a chance of a putt, get out of there, but we've missed in the wrong place. We've got a little bit of green, but we're in the thicker rough, haven't we? So a good shot. I wouldn't say that's one you've struggled with, so let's now go down behind the bunker. Okay, so next shot here, set down, not much grass underneath the ball, but we're going to go to the furthest one. So we've got around about a 25-yard shot. Dave, club selection?
50-degree approach wedge.
50-degree approach wedge, a Cleveland wedge. So play pretty much the same as we've played those other chips. I'm going to walk up to see where that lands. A lot of people here would go straight for 60. I know Dave was very much somebody who would do that before.
Yeah, but you won't let me bring me 60 out.
But 60's barred. So, right, Dave, let's have a look. So, a couple of good practice swings. There you go. Good. So just past, just run off the green. But again, that's gone to 8 feet, Dave. Nice and easily over.
I'll take that then.
We could put a little bit more loft on the club if we wanted a bit shorter, but we're trying to get over this. And a lot of people, a very well raked bunker, a lot of people will leave themselves in this bunker and not get over on the green. Dave there's got to put downhill just 8 feet away,
yeah,
and give
something
himself
like
a chance.
Right, Dave. Where are we going to, mate?
We're in the rough. We're going to go to this short-sided flag, so this closest one in front of us here. So, sat down a little bit. Club, Dave, what are you thinking?
I'm just going with pitching wedge, which is, I think, a 48.
48 with the apex. That is controversial. I reckon it's close to 46. But
yeah, all right, then we'll say 46.
46.
For cash.
But we're going to go to this front flag. So, how are you going to play this one? Any different?
Basically just a chip and run. Not expecting any check really out of that, so I'll try and drop it about halfway.
Okay, drop it halfway and let it run out. So let's see how Dave plays this. That's it, so no real wrist hinge, it's just going to be a little bit of body turn.
And thin it.
Ooh, thin to win. So we see there, again Dave's tendency there was a little bit quick over the ball.
I was.
So maybe that might be the shot that Dave struggles a little bit, the little bump and run. And we've talked through this that Dave does sometimes use a hybrid. I know we haven't brought that out with us, but this might be a shot that Dave needs a little bit of work on.
Correct.
It's very much a festive winter lie now for Dave. So
yeah, you've not made it easy there, have you?
Off the mud patch, Dave, we're going to go to this flag here on the left, so the closest one. So maybe a similar shot to what you've just played. What would you go? Would you go gap wedge or pitching wedge?
I'm thinking gap wedge.
Gap wedge, perfect. So let's play that shot now. So, not the easiest of shot, but we need to be nice and wide here, Dave. We keep a good tempo, don't get too wide with the stance. And it's more body turn, good. Letting that club head release on the way through, nice and positive. See if we can get the camera. Good. Good. So nice bit of loft, trickle down there. Left yourself 5 feet. We could have the options there, Dave. What would you say there? Would you change the loft next time, or would you just give it a little bit more?
I'd probably still go with hybrid because there's nothing in front of me, but if there was a bit of something in front of me, I'd maybe go with the sand wedge.
Yeah, so if something was in front, Dave would go a little bit more loft, but he'd probably just give that a little bit more of a positive stroke, a little bit longer back swing. So it's not a shot there that Dave has struggled with as such, but it's just something you can see that, oh, I would have given it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So Dave, just a brushing off of the old waterproofs. Ball on the downslope, so again a lie that not many people like. Hopefully you don't get many of these, but it's one that we've certainly worked on with before. I'm going to be generous here, and we're going to go to the flag that we haven't, which is on the other side of the green. They have moved. So, what club, Dave?
Oh, I was going to go sand wedge.
Okay, so sand wedge. Again, this slope is going to be taking loft off, so Dave's gone for his most lofted wedge, which is a good decision. So Dave, what are you going to do differently to what you would do on a normal shot?
I'm going to try and flail the left foot out,
yeah,
and put as much weight as possible so I'm hardly feeling anything on my right foot.
Okay, yes, so flailing the left foot out, so flaring it out, so it's down the slope, all his weight is now there, and the right foot's not really doing a lot. This is going to stop any kind of drop kick strikes. So you see how he's linked with the slope. And you see how that comes off nice and low. It's ran down there.
Yeah, pretty
and again,
good.
from there, 7 feet, from a tough shot, Dave,
yeah,
you would
pretty good, I'd take that.
So, let's go through the shots that we've played. So guys, there we've done the rounds, we've done a little bit of block, we've then gone round to different shots with Dave. He's talked through the process of what he's trying to do. First shot, gave himself around 7 feet, said to himself, oh, I just didn't take as much swing in the rough because it was quite thick. Second shot, nice and positive over the bunker. A lot of people would have taken the 56 or even the 60. Dave went down to his 52.
Yeah.
Was able to get that up and over, positive, and it just went past and gave himself around about 8-9 feet, which from there is not too far away from.
So do you think I should have up the loft gone with the sand wedge?
You could either up the loft or you could match it in between and go open the 52 slightly. We can make sure it's got enough forwards, but then it's got that little bit of loft from the slight openness of it. A lot of people will go 56 and try and take maybe too much swing, dump it in the bunker.
Yeah, that's kind of what I worried about, because the more swing I'm taking, the more stuff tends to go wrong with it.
For error, yeah. So we then went on to the one in the thicker rough, the short-sided bump and run, and it's one Dave admitted it doesn't play as much, because from there, when he's got his bag, he might go a hybrid. He just gets it out of there, and that's very much nice and simple for me to see and for Dave to see. It comes back to here. When he gets that motion a little bit short and quick, we catch it thin and it runs through. Next shot, off a bare lie, which nobody likes at this time of year, or even in the summer, it's probably even worse. Dave was able to get that down to 5 feet, which is probably inside tour average for that shot. He just knew, well, maybe I could have been a little bit more aggressive, it would have held it on line and it wouldn't have fallen as much to the right. So again, very easy to take his feedback. And then on the downslope, slight adjustment to his setup, was able to play a very good shot, I would say inside tour average. So processing that session, we've hit 5 different shots around the green, we've hit 5 balls here. Dave could spend maybe another 5 balls here. He could hit 5 more balls just to finish off the session, just to check his setup. Or Dave might then go and play 5 shots of the bump and runs, maybe to all 3 flags, and just go, right, I'm a bit more comfortable with not having that lag behind. But you see there again, Dave's now got a setup. He can come down here for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, get his work done, find out if there is a weakness. If then Dave comes for a session, he can come in and go, do you know what, Chris, just before we go out to do a playing session, can we just have a quick look at bump and runs? And this is where Dave's going to be better when he comes for lessons, or when he comes and sees me, he can be like, oh, I've been struggling with this, I have done the practice, but I've still not got my head around it. And that's where, for coaches, it's much easier if you come with an idea of what you're struggling with. If you know how to practice properly, you can come with ideas, or you can come with facts of what you need to work on, instead of we're playing the lottery game of spending the first half an hour of the session asking you what you're actually doing wrong.
Yeah.
So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Comment below any more things that you'd like to see regarding practice, what other things and what other drills you might want to see, and we'll get Dave trial and erroring them. But guys, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you've learnt a little bit of how to practice, and we will see you again very soon.
See you soon.